Hi, my name is Kai Blackburn, and I'm referred to as light-skinned.
Hi, my name is Thomas Griffin. I'm referred to as black or chocolate.
Hi, I'm Brian Morrison. I'm referred to as light-skinned or yellow.
Hi, I'm Tony Lamont, and I'm dark-skinned, and they used to call me Blackberry.
Imagine walking away from a 28-year executive management career in corporate America to pursue your passion of empowering the world, giving them the tools they need to live their dreams. The Living by Design show with Kathy Holloway Hill. Impactful, informative, empowering. Take a look at a few of the guests that have been on the show. It's your time to be living by design.
Hi, I'm Kathy Holloway Hill, and welcome to Living by Design. This is going to be a very powerful episode today. I hope you tuned in a few weeks ago when we talked to our ladies about the debilitating issue of light skin versus dark skin in our community. Today, we are going to answer that call with a male panel, and we're going to talk to our guys about that same topic as well as many other topics, and we are going to really bring to the surface some serious issues. So you need to stay right where you are, because we are coming up on a massively important topic that's going to enhance our community. So I'm just going to say hello, gentlemen, and welcome to Living by Design.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing great, and thank you guys so much for agreeing to participate in this show. We really need this information, and you all are going to give it to our viewers. So let me just start off. Now, we did a show a few weeks ago with the ladies about light skin versus dark skin and how they grew up and how they were called names and how they were viewed in the community and society. So let me just start down here, and we're going to, let each person speak. Kai, growing up, how did you feel, or how did people make you feel about yourself being a light-skinned African American?
Well, actually, the majority of places that I was in, they really didn't distinguish. It was like, you black, so. And then only rarely within our own circles was it distinguished, kind of like my dad would say, kind of crabs in a bucket type mentality, and it really wasn't that much of a conflict within our society. You learn those delineations, as it were, but I don't think it was that weighted amongst the men. We knew it was there, but it wasn't that. It was like society in general all just saw us as black.
Right, and I'm glad you said that it wasn't that weighted among the gentlemen, because you guys probably have a different perspective when it comes to yourselves, and you being a light-skinned brother versus a brown-skinned, dark-skinned brother. Talk a little bit about how you guys see each other. I mean, do you compete? Do you think you're better than him because you're lighter, or what are your thoughts on those? Go ahead, Thomas. Thomas,
well, first and foremost, men are competitive regardless.
Okay, great.
So from a competition standpoint, you're always going to be a little bit competitive. But I'm going to touch on something that was already said, well, it hasn't been said. My first experience with light skin, dark skin was kindergarten. Now think about this. I've always been a chocolate guy.
Right.
And during my growing up, I was the preacher's son. It's fairly popular, and all the women at church, the older ladies, just, oh, look at him, he's so cute. And you go to first grade, or you go to kindergarten, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm the cute guy, because that's what they told me at church. And then you get to church, and the light-skinned guy got all the girls. They were all over him. And I'm like, what happened?
In school,
now,
you mean?
Yeah, I was probably 6. But the whole point is, I could tell that people made a difference. Now I'm a little bit older than everybody on the panel. But think about it. Now this is the early 60s, and those girls were crazy about the light skin guy.
Okay, so in your opinion, you felt like the light-skinned guys were the pretty boys. Mm-hmm. Okay. Brian, what's your experience? What do you think?
I grew up in the 60, 70 area, and for me, being in a eclectic family, my grandmother was white. My father was fairly dark. So when I was kind of the light skin, or as my mom and some of my aunts would call me yellow boy, I didn't feel like I was inferior, but especially to my darker skinned friends, because we all looked at each other as just buddies.
Right.
Nobody really judged each other from the standpoint of your skin color. It was usually whether you could run fast, shoot a basketball.
Okay.
So the competition has always been, I can run faster than you. And it wasn't a thing was he could run faster because he was darker. It was just we could run fast. We were always considered black, like Kai said earlier. We were always considered black to everyone else. So I never felt a competition with any of my darker skinned friends, because we only thing we competed in was sports.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. Now, Tony, I know you were raised here in Indianapolis, and,
Right.
and you were on the radio and Who's Your Millionaire and all those things. So growing up, back before all of that stuff happened, before you became Tony Lamont, what kind of experiences did you see? Were you envious of the lighter skinned African American brothers, or did you have bad experiences?
Well, I mean, I agree with the panel. For men, it's different in that context, in that, the competition is about what you can do versus how you looked a lot of times. It really wasn't so much. I mean, I was chased and bullied by light-skinned and dark-skinned brothers. I had my issues. Now, you know this, but I'll share this with the panel and some folks that may not know. Within my family, I was that one of those children who were considered, because I was dark and not very attractive as a young child, you always saw my hands in pictures holding my light-skinned sister, but you never saw my face or the rest of me. You just saw my hands holding her. And I always asked my family why was that the case. I don't know why it was. I mean, my mother used to joke and say you was an ugly boy, and I didn't have any photographs until I got in school as a child. So I don't know if that was the case or not, but the bottom line was I didn't think of it was a light skin, dark skin situation.
Right.
For me, more than anything else, it was just, why are you calling me ugly, and why do you feel that way about me? And
Now that's interesting. You said your mother said you were an ugly boy when you asked why you weren't in the picture. How did that make you feel?
It didn't make me feel good, because I couldn't understand why, because I grew up in a house full of women, so I guess because I was a boy for a while there, I thought that was why I was ugly, because I was a boy. Okay. But it is what it is in that context, but I got over that.
Now, this is for any of you guys on the panel. When it comes to self-esteem, because one of the things that really came up in our female discussion with our African American sisters was that their self-esteem was affected by so many things that they had to endure, so many things, that the names they were called, and being ostracized because they were darker skinned and all these things. What's some of your experiences with that type among guys? Do you feel like well, I want to be friends with him because he's light skinned, or him because he's dark skinned, or it has nothing to do with that versus the accomplishments thing?
I think all human beings have their own set of insecurities. And so I'd be willing to fathom that everybody here has something that they have been insecure about in their lifetime. But here's what we know about men. If you can score 20 points on the basketball team, all those other insecurities go out the window.
Yes.
If you run 3 touchdowns in a game, all those insecurities. So because men are usually, or in most instances, very physical or very accomplishment oriented, if you can do something and you get credit for it, or you get praised for that thing that you can do, worrying about skin tone, I think, is so low on the totem pole that it's just not anything that really consumes us.
And I'll add that, because one of the things that with men, because of what we went through as a culture anyway, I think what affected us more than anything was we want to be considered and respected as men. Light skin, dark skin, didn't matter. We wanted to be looked at and respected as men, because that was the thing to tear us down as men. So we were kind of in the battle together. It didn't really matter, because a black man or an African American male in the community was a black man. It didn't matter how light or dark you were. were, that's what they looked at you as. So at that point, it hit you that way. So we were kind of in that, for lack of a better term, struggle together. I very seldom did I look at a brother and go, oh, he got the opportunity because he's light-skinned. I didn't do that. Now, I'm sure it possibly went on, but I didn't have to deal with that.
Okay. Now, I really like what you guys are saying about this competitive thing, because I've always thought that women based their self-worth on their relationships and their appearance, and men base their self-worth on their accomplishments. And you even kind of alluded to that. Yeah, so that's true. If you played sports, or if you were accomplished, or
musician or whatever. Yeah. Again, if you think about it, men are about their accomplishments. Men want to be rewarded and acknowledged because they did something great or positive in whatever arena they choose to be in.
And this is really, really good. We're going to just take a quick break. And we don't want you to go anywhere, because we have so much more coming up on Living by Design.
Keeping kids happy, healthy, and safe can be challenging at times, but resources are available. Social Health Association of Indiana has provided education programs for children and their parents for more than 70 years. Our professional educators teach kindergarten through 8th grade students how to step up for kindness to prevent bullying, how to care for their growing bodies, about healthy relationships, and preventing teen pregnancy and diseases. Together, we're empowering Indiana youth to be happy, healthy, and safe. Learn more at socialhealth.org. Kathy Holloway Hill, founder and CEO of C. Holloway Hill Enterprises, is committed to providing her clients with the highest level of excellence, with a special emphasis on employee branding. The greatest asset organizations possess are their people, and C. Holloway Hill Enterprises teaches you how to maximize their potential, which leads to reduced turnover, improved morale, and increased profits. Their youth programs will transform our young people into future leaders. Their services can be customized to meet your specific needs, and the metrics speak for themselves. So, if you're ready to receive results-oriented services, then let's get growing with C. Holloway Hill Enterprises today. Visit their website at www.chollowayhill.com or call 502-387-7701.
Hi, I'm Kathy Holloway Hill, and welcome back to Living by Design. We are having a magnificent time with our panel of attractive men of all shades. And so, guys, okay, now let's just talk a little bit about this accomplishment thing. So, is it sports? Is it business? What is it when it comes to accomplishments that makes you feel like, ooh, I am all of that in a bag of chips?
Well, it's not that we go, that way, ooh wee, but as kids, I mean, we wanted to be the top athlete. As college bound, you wanted to have that accolade as saying, I'm the best at this, I'm the best at that. And again, it's not the fact that we wanted to just smear it in each other's faces. It could be just for rivalry's sake to say, I got bragging rights.
Ooh, I like that word, rivalry.
Yeah, and that's all it is. That's all it is. We've been friends and rivals for so long, but the word rivalry today means, I want to kill you. Back in the day, it was just, I just want to beat you and brag for the rest till next time we played again, till the next time. But if you were an accomplished whatever, DJ, musician, we gave you props. We gave each other props. Man, you're doing great, and you kind of pushed each other to the next level if you could. We were discussing that earlier before off camera. It's all about making each other empowered, not trying to demean or play down each other because you're dark or light skinned. It's saying, man, you're doing great. Right. Now, again, there's going to be people who might have a hate side to you because you are dark skinned, light skinned, more muscular, more taller, whatever. But that's the light skin, dark skin thing was really not a man's beef. It was not a man's beef.
And I'm going to say, because it's a media thing too, because it's really funny, because if you really, society, but really media from the standpoint of males, because if you take a look at some of the movies that were out during particular times, let's go back to Superfly. Superfly, Ron O'Neal was a light skin, so the light skins were in. Shaft was a dark skinned brother, so the dark brothers were in. So it really depended on, at that particular time, what was happening in the media. And it was really funny because you saw that trend happen in society. It was amazing. And so that's why you always hear the joke now is, oh, the light-skinned brothers are back in, or the dark-skinned brothers are back in, because it's whatever is going on, particularly in the media. But it's not so much that, like Brian was saying, for us, the accomplishments, like all of us know each other and know each other well. Right. So if I did something, I would ask them, what did they think about it? Or they would tell me what they thought about it, whether I liked it or not, because that's the kind of friendship we have. That's what guys will do. But there's some haters out there. Right.
And we've all been envious or jealous. And let's just, the best thing about being grown, you can be honest. Yes. I used to be so jealous of Tony Lamont, you just don't even know. Okay. Because he, in my opinion, had a lot of breaks and opportunities. And during that period of time, we both worked at the radio station at the same time. He got the job. He got the job that I wanted. Mm-hmm. When Tony Lamont was the morning guy on TLC, I was under the impression that I was going to get that job. Mm-hmm. And instead of them picking somebody who already worked at the station, they went outside the station and pulled Tony in. Mm-hmm. But again, when that happened, skin tone, color, had absolutely nothing to do with it. What I was more discouraged about is just the opportunity to shine. And that's what men want to do. We have what I call the fragile male ego. Oh, you are really hitting something huge right now. And thank you so much for opening that door for me, because it's exactly where I was getting ready to go. How is your self-esteem affected by something that someone else is doing, whether they're light skin, dark skin, whatever skin? How does that affect you self-esteem wise? And you just told a great example, a great story. What about you, Kai or Brian? What about, have you had any experiences like that?
Yeah, to talk about Thomas, Kai, us growing up together, Kai always seemed to have something first. Then, like, he had the first motorcycle. Then I had to go get a motorcycle. Kai had, he was modeling before. I felt like sometimes I was always chasing my cousin, because I wanted to be just, because he was like a semi-idol. Even though I'm older than him, he still was like, man, he's always there. He's ahead of me in the game, and I would kind of have that little side envy of, oh, I'm gonna catch my cousin one day. But it was not. It was really out of love. But that was my insecurity. It was mine. I owned it. No, he didn't know.
You could use that as motivation. Mm-hmm. As opposed to saying, I'm trying to destroy him.
Exactly. I wasn't trying to not take his knees out. I was just like, okay, what's he doing? What's he wearing today? And that's what we did.
And I love that you guys are saying that, because we know how female self-esteem is affected, and that's what we need to learn. You guys are really helping us understand how male self-esteem is affected. Go ahead, Kai.
I was saying, as far as self-esteem, each of these guys were my heroes. I remember when I even got over to WTLC and I was up under them, I memorized a lot of their intakes, and even Brian, the way we did martial arts, we did ice hockey, we did all the sports. I was envious of all of them because of their competitive nature, because of their drive, because of their strength, and I could see each of their individual strengths, and I aspired to that. When I got there with Al Hobbs and Amos Brown, just more great voices amongst you two, I was just glad for that opportunity. And the bottom line, if there was any competitiveness, I was kind of like, man, I'm going to be like them, and then I'm going to get that fine woman over there, which is kind of like that's what us as men, we wanted to compete and all that, but what's going to, the only instabilities we had, the only weaknesses that I saw that we had was what we kind of compromised to get next to the ladies. If the ladies were kind of like, oh, Prince come out with a new movie or something, say, okay, light skin's in right now, okay, you may get here, we may not, or brown skin. But it was all related to accomplishment, achievement, and women.
That's amazing. Now, I have to ask you about the self-esteem thing. So once you became Tony Lamont, were there any self-esteem issues or anyone or any situation that you looked at that you said, hey, I want to do what that person's doing? Or
Well, and I know we're getting ready to go to break, but I'll just say this. I've always had self-esteem issues. I'm a shy person.
That's true. You're very introverted.
Very introverted. So I'm a shy person. I mean, Thomas will tell you many times he was that go-to guy. Hey, man, tell her I like her. So, you know, it was that way sometimes. It was that way sometimes. So that was a part of what I did. But when it came to the job, I couldn't show the insecurity. It's a whole different story.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I'm going to just say, because coming up in the next segment, we're going to get into the real issue, women. So don't go anywhere. Coming up on Living by Design.
Kathy Holloway Hill, founder and CEO of C. Holloway Hill Enterprises, is committed to providing her clients with the highest level of excellence with a special emphasis on employee branding. The greatest asset organizations possess are their people, and C. Holloway Hill Enterprises teaches you how to maximize their potential, which leads to reduced turnover, improved morale, and increased profits. Their youth programs will transform our young people into future leaders. Their services can be customized to meet your specific needs, and the metrics speak for themselves. So, if you're ready to receive results-oriented services, then let's get growing with C. Holloway Hill Enterprises today. Visit their website at www.chollowayhill.com or call 502-387-7701. Keeping kids happy, healthy, and safe can be challenging at times, but resources are available. Social Health Association of Indiana has provided education programs for children and their parents for more than 70 years. Our professional educators teach kindergarten through 8th grade students how to step up for kindness to prevent bullying, how to care for their growing bodies, about healthy relationships, and preventing teen pregnancy and diseases. Together, we're empowering Indiana youth to be happy, healthy, and safe. Learn more at socialhealth.org.
Welcome back to Living by Design. As promised, we are going to be talking to our handsome gentleman here now about their preferences in women. All right, gentlemen. Now, you know the issues that we have. We women have issues with our relationships, and that's how we define ourselves. By the success of our relationships, by whether or not guys find us attractive, and all those things. So I want to put this out there for whoever wants to answer. What is your preference when it comes to a woman? Light skin, dark skin, or a different nationality?
Yes.
Wow, oh my goodness.
That's the old, I like them big, I like them small. To tell the truth, I like them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that again? Say that again.
I like them big, I like them small. To tell the truth, I like them all.
Oh, that is funny. Okay, so see, I'm loving this. I'm really loving this. So, you guys are saying you don't have a preference if it's a pretty woman.
Generally speaking, I mean, let's be honest. Generally speaking, there are the three areas that men are going to be attracted to.
Okay.
Pretty face, a well-endowed chest, or hips, legs, and thighs. And so you might get a combination of those things, but those would be the primary things because at the end of the day, we're visual.
Okay, now let me get this right. So a pretty face, what did you say, a well-endowed what?
Chest.
Oh, boobs?
Right.
Okay, and thighs.
Right, or butt, yeah.
Oh, hips, thighs, okay.
It's always going to be visual first, like you just said. It's always going to be visual first. Same with women. Something has to invite you in.
There has to be an initial attraction.
Exactly. So it has to be the visual.
And on the kind of legs, but most guys nowadays are not that big into legs per se. So you mean to tell me if there's somebody who doesn't have anything but just some pretty legs and you're just enamored, and it's like everything else is like,
Well, and I'll say this is my wife, but she gave me permission to talk, so I'm talking.
Please be honest.
So the bottom line is sometimes it was just about the legs because there was a philosophy behind it. Rhythm, all kinds of stuff. Okay. So nice legs meant, in most cases, nice nice body. And so you could deal with some other aspects of it. So that's how it was. So yeah, the legs.
And I ran track, so most of the track girls had legs and behinds.
Okay, but see,
and kept me running.
But again, I'm saying if you had one or the other. So there are women that we know that have the pretty face that may not have the other parts.
Right.
Or women that are well endowed in the breast area that don't have the other parts.
And as I evolved, that kind of went that direction.
Now let me ask you this, guys, okay, because you guys are talking about well endowed. So is the consensus that the thinner woman is not desirable?
No, that's not true, dear. No.
Good answer.
Not true at all.
Again, if you ever really pay attention to what black men like as compared to what white men like, in the white community, and this is my opinion, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right, the white community, those men usually like the women as slim as possible with large breasts. In the black community, we're more into hips, butt, and thighs. And so if by chance you have somebody that has a combination of all, that's beautiful. If you have one or the other, that's fabulous. But at the end of the day, we're speaking generalities. That's generally how it usually
Because
plays.
men in general are equal opportunity observers.
Yes.
We appreciate the range.
Now, you know what's very interesting to me, what I'm hearing, is you all aren't even talking about light skin, dark skin. You're not even talking about skin shade, skin color. You're talking about
Physical attributes.
Physical attributes, pretty face, well endowed, the body size. So it doesn't matter?
In most cases, no, not that I can think of.
And what it really comes down to eventually is it will eventually, after we see past or look past those things, those initial emotions that we have, who you are inside and what you have inside. Because the bottom line is you could be fine as you want to, have the greatest legs and have the greatest attributes and be the ugliest person in the world. Yes. And so I wanted to make sure I put that out there because I didn't want some of the viewers to think that, we're sexualizing women because the conversation is what it is. But the bottom line is that we see what we see and we want what we see until we see what we have and realize it's not what we want.
Amen.
Man, write that down.
That was a good one.
So at that point, we have to make sure that the two things match.
Now I have to ask this question because I would be remiss, and I know the ladies out there are going to say, please ask them this question. How do you guys feel about ladies with weaves or hair or anything that is not theirs?
I personally, I have always been a stickler on I like real. Okay. I like women that can go without makeup. I like women that have real boobs, and I don't care if they sag. I don't like fake. I don't like fake.
No colored contacts and.
Here's the deal, and I will say this, and I don't know if we're in agreement, but I like everything real, but I do understand if you're looking for a certain look or an effect for a certain instance, I can deal with that. But if you have a lot of fake things on 24/7, that's just not what I prefer.
Excellent. What about you, Kai? Just real quick.
Real quick, I agree with both of their perspectives because one kind of segues over to the other. But a lot of it's kind of, I believe it's self-imposed by the women.
Good point. Very good point. We have had a magnificent time with our brilliant panel of men here, and you have gained a lot of information about yourself. So don't worry about the outside, just be concerned about what's on the inside. I'm always going to encourage you to take care of yourself and make sure that everything matches, the outside and the inside. We thank you for joining us for this episode of Living by Design, and we're going to continue our conversation because we have so much more to say. So check it out on our YouTube channel. Welcome back, and we are just going to continue on with this discussion because it is so powerful and it's so informative. Ladies, these gentlemen are helping you to understand them, so take some notes. So gentlemen, we were talking before we ended the show about your preference on the real versus the fake. Right. So when you see ladies who have weaves or wigs or colored contacts or fake, y'all probably don't even know it.
Well, here, let me help you, and I'm gonna help you real quick, make it as simple as possible. Okay. I've never met a man that says, man, I was gonna talk to that girl, but her fingernails weren't done. Man, I was gonna ask her out, but she didn't have her eyelashes on. Man, I was gonna really talk to her, but her weave wasn't down to her elbows. So the whole thing is a lot of the things that women get caught up in, if they're doing it for men. Now that's the big point. If they're doing it for a man, they're really wasting their time because we don't get consumed on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, because here's the other thing. It's so funny because I think the very first time I saw a woman with a shaved head, very small, she was one of the most beautiful women I'd seen. Just because, and the reason I felt that way was because there was a level of confidence, because it took confidence to do that. So I was like, wow. So when I saw that, I was attracted to her confidence. I mean, she was a beautiful woman, but I was like, that confidence was a big deal for me. It's like, you go, girl. And so from that point, it's like, man, that really is something.
And see, I dated a girl with short hair, and it wasn't about her hair. It was, we connected.
Yes.
But I tell you what's funny is my friends ragged me because she had short hair. They ragged me. They were like, "Oh man, where'd you find this bald headed?" And I was like, "Man, this is a person, not." But that was the superficiality of them.
Wow.
They were into long hair, and I tell you why, because they hung around a lot of models, so they had, that's what they saw. But she was the sweetest, kindest person, but she wore her hair natural, and it was beautiful, and she was light skinned. So, light skin usually have long, good hair and everything. She was, that was the deception. She was very light skinned and had a short little afro. Beautiful, beautiful young lady.
What was you gonna say, Kai?
I was going to say it's a combination of what they expressed right now. That confidence also is reflective upon the choices that they make within their grooming and their presentation.
That's a good
because
point.
if they don't have to wear all that hair or wear all that speaks to their confidence, which appeals to us most. And like you said, at a certain area of our maturity, we appreciate that even more with age.
Now, I want to ask you guys' opinion, because you've all known me for quite a long time, and I just recently cut my hair short. When my hair was long, nobody ever said anything. As soon as I cut my hair short, I received a lot of hate emails from females. Why do you think that is? Why did you cut your hair? What's wrong with you? People are trying to buy hair like yours and you cut. What is going on with, why do you think females were doing that to me?
They want to be you. They want, because a lot of females, men don't deal with the same kind of envy. No. So, our envy is what it is. But the thing about it is females will be envious of another female because, okay, you have naturally long hair and a quote unquote good grade of hair. So how dare you cut off the hair that I really want?
Oh, okay.
And so that's how they kind of treat that situation. Is like, I would never, if I had hair like you, that's one of the things that I've heard people say to you. If I had hair like you, I never would cut it. Well, that's the reason you don't have hair, because you're worrying about whether your hair, you probably impressed it, dyed it, laid it to the side, and it's broken. Forgive me for saying it, but I mean, those kinds of things go on. And if you just do what you have to do, it's going to be what it needs to be for you.
And then it might be the society thing. I mean, I remember growing up, I did not like looking like everybody else. I hated that statement, we all look alike. So if everybody's wearing short hair, I wore my hair long. Right. If everybody's wearing long hair, I wore my hair short.
Exactly.
I did not want to look, I didn't want anybody to say, you look like somebody.
I mean, as a woman, I know women really get caught up in trying to do so many things, buying hair and buying nails and buying body parts. But I mean, personally, I feel like I'm not my hair. I mean, I really want people to recognize me for what I have on the inside, because I believe that's where the real true beauty lies.
I'll tell you what's it's funny you should say that, because that used to be kind of an inside joke with men, because women would always say, I want you to like me for my inside. And we're like, look, we're not trying to get to your head. We're trying to, Right. So that was kind of like a male inside joke. But I tell you, I have a good friend who is very tall, very buxom, and she does not like guys ogling her for that reason. And so one day she told me she didn't want to take a job because she thought that was what was getting her the job. I said, well, look, let me tell you something. Get through the door and then show them this.
Oh, I like that.
Get whatever gets you through the door. but at least get through the door. Don't sit there and deny yourself an opportunity because you don't want some, so your boobs got you through the door.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
there's a lot of women right now in doctor's offices trying to get what you got.
Exactly.
So, women have to understand, please be happy with what you got.
Exactly.
Please be
I
happy
know.
with what you
I
got,
know.
'cause we will be.
That's a good point. So if a woman does wear a weave or she does wear fake hair or a wig, and you start dating her and you don't know that, because a lot of times guys don't know if the hair is fake or not.
I do.
Oh, do you?
I do too.
Oh, do you? So if you start dating her and then all of a sudden, you don't, these two said they know, but if you don't know and you discover that it is, you know too?
I know too, yeah.
Do you know?
I guess, yeah, unanimous.
Okay, all right. So then that question, because I was going to say, once you find out, are you not interested in him?
Well, in the Thomas Griffin book that has not been written yet, it says expectation is the prime ingredient for disappointment. So if I think, based on what you're asking, that you have these certain attributes, and then I come to find out you don't have them, in most instances now I will be disappointed. Okay. And once that disappointment happens, you have now affected your relationship.
Okay. So because women can pad the...
Yeah. So what happens is sometimes, and I'm not saying asking or telling women to do this, but sometimes full disclosure, at least, before I get to a certain point and I find out these things about you that I didn't know. And then once I find out these things, then I'm like, oh, well, I didn't want to be with her because she's got things. Right.
And there was an actual, I think it was a Keenan Ivory Wayans movie that they satired that. Right. He was with this beautiful girl, and all of a sudden they got home, and she started taking body parts off, and he's like, and so that's kind of what we do.
And that killed that.
It killed that romance. Sure did.
Okay, guys. Now I've got to close out the discussion because this probably will go on forever. So that's why I'm saying I'm gonna close out the discussion with this, because I will get a gazillion trillion hate emails if I don't ask this question. Full disclosure, full truth. Do you prefer African American women, Hispanic women, Caucasian women? What?
I'll let him. Wait a minute. Can you answer that again?
Yeah. Well, no. Kai answered it when we very first started.
What did he say? When it comes to dating or marrying outside your race, what's your thoughts and opinions and feelings and preferences on that?
Kai said it.
Oh, what? I didn't hear him.
He just said yes.
He said yes.
He said it earlier because the bottom line.
The same thing?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Now, and let's be honest. Again, we'll be honest. Everybody has what you would call a preference. But at the end of the day, and one of the things you've chosen to do is have a little bit more of a mature panel. Yes. Once you get to be a mature man, a lot of the superficial things just don't mean as much. And so, I tell people all the time is that if I were looking to settle down, what I would prefer is a woman who's going to make me a better man. Amen. And so if you don't bring that to the table, your ethnicity has nothing to do with it.
Thank you for saying that, because I get a lot of questions, and that's one reason I wanted to do this panel, because I get a lot of questions from women saying that, well, our brothers, as soon as they get, accomplished or established, they want to go and get a white woman. And
do you understand why?
No, but I hate hearing that, because
Let me say this, because I'm gonna say it this way, because I'm gonna say it from an athlete's way, because a group of athletes told me this, and I never thought of it like this, but it made a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. They said that when they started their career, when they were in, doing what they were doing, getting things started,
I know where you're going.
Right, that the sisters, were the way they were, but then
at them, they weren't
right. But the white women didn't care who they were. They took care of them as they were going through it and getting to it. The sisters wanted them when they got it. So from that standpoint, that's how come some guys, because I'm not going to generalize, there are groups of individuals that think that way. So, they didn't do well, the sisters treated them bad, and the white women came along and treated them great. And they said, that's their preference now. That's not everybody. So, but I'm speaking from an athletic standpoint or even from a business standpoint, because some guys struggle going through business, and then when they got it, all of a sudden, everybody wants to say, hey. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is, where were you when I was broke?
Amen.
Exactly. And I, being a person who is married to a white woman, I didn't marry her because she was white. I just that was not the reason.
And personally, I know her. She's my sister. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And I know her heart. So, I mean, white, green, pink, orange, blue, whatever color, I mean, how can you not? She's a sweetheart.
And that is, again, this was a woman who believed in me. So as a matter of fact, I was teasing my brother one day. I said, this is the kind of woman every man looks for. She's supportive, she's loving, and she keeps me balanced in a way that says, hey, not where she's demeaning me or trying to break me down, but she's trying to keep me on that balanced path. Yes. She accepts my faults, as we all should do. Yes. Accept each other's faults. But again, it's not, and she didn't marry me because I was a black man. We are Christians. We love each other, and that's where our connection happened. And so, I have been asked, well, why did you marry a white woman? Is she white? I didn't know that. Because she was a woman.
Oh, good answer. Right. Good for you. I like that.
Because I didn't marry her because she was white. Man. So I get a little testy one day.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get you that. But they, just like you all, and the experiences we've had, it's not that we're so much looking for perfection, but somebody that's perfect for us, which is what they found.
I like that. Yeah, and that is such a good point, because And I know it's because of the pain that black women have endured. And because there's so much pain there, they always want to look for some reason to be mad at you guys. They want to look for a reason to be mad at you, Brian. Well, you married a white woman. Well, there are a ton of black women out here. Well, she's the one that I connected with. She's the one that God brought to me. It's not about color. It's not about race. It's about the person that God brought to my life. Because really, I mean, if we're really going to be Christians and talk about the Bible here, the Bible doesn't say anything about staying within your nationality or within your culture, within your race. It says love, abundantly.
Love one another.
Yeah, love one another abundantly. Love thy neighbor. Love is all throughout the Bible. It doesn't say anything about color. So you guys have been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Is there any final thoughts that you would like to add? Because you're helping our African American sisters to understand, you all, men, I'm trying to help them understand. So is there anything that you would like to close with?
Well, I'm still single, so.
Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, what I would say is don't overthink. Don't overthink your situation. Right.
That's true. Amen.
Women know that you're loved, but we can't love a wall. Break down that wall.
Wow, good stuff.
And I think more than anything else, don't be afraid to be who you are. Because men don't care about what people think about you. They care about what you think about them. And so that's the most important part. If you're going to love a man, you're going to be with a man, it's how you treat him, how you make him feel that makes him react to you. And that's really what it comes down to. I mean, the bottom line for most men is we want to be cared for. We want to be loved. We want somebody we can trust and we can feel good about. We don't care what color you are. A lot of times you'll have people that'll go, and all of us have dealt with this. Why are you with her? Or couldn't you do better than that? And the thing about it is, better than that, at that moment in our lives, there was no one better than that, because that's what was better for me. And your opinion of that didn't matter to me. So you worry about who you get. I got who I got. And so I think that's what it comes down to from the standpoint. So if women just realize a man is looking for what he's looking for, and if you're what he's looking for, you're going to be that one.
Wow.
Keep God in it.
I'm going to tell you.
Keep God in it.
Amen. Yes, say that now. Now, I didn't say this. It came straight from 4 gorgeous men's horses' mouths. Not just average men. These are all gorgeous.
Did you call us horses' mouths?
I said it came straight from the horse's mouth.
Thank you.
From 4 extremely handsome, accomplished men, and one's even single down there. So go ahead. Don't email me. Y'all look him up. Look him up on Facebook. His name's Kai Blackburn. Okay. So I had a great time. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Yeah, really was a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it.